Hello, everybody. So, I just watched all three of the Fate Heavensfield movies in one go, actually. I waited until the third movie is out, which it just came out on Blu-ray, to watch all three movies in one go because I don't like waiting a year or two between movies. That bothers me. I just as full clearance, I'm a huge Fate nerd. On a scale of 10, let's say 10 being you've played the visual novels, all routes, you've played Hollow Ataraxia, you've contributed to the wiki. I'd say I sit at a solid 9 out of 10. I've seen every single conceivable Fate franchise anime that you can think of. Yes, even the weird ones. I've read a lot of the wiki stuff, and I've seen Tsukihime and Kara no Kyokai, Garden of Sinners. I'm a huge Type Moon fan. That being said, let's talk about these movies. So, what you should know going in, if you haven't seen any of these movies and you're considering watching them, is you need to watch Fate Unlimited Blade Works, the anime series, before you watch these movies. You 100% have to. These movies assume you've seen it. They skip over lots and lots of stuff, especially at the beginning in movie 1. They literally skip through 1 or 2 episodes of what would have been an anime series because they assume you've seen Unlimited Blade Works. Secondly, watch Fate Zero. It's deeply connected to Heavensfield. If you really want to skip it, you can. But just understand that there's going to be a lot of things that blow over your head if you have not seen Fate Zero. And keep in mind that when I say have seen Unlimited Blade Works and have seen Fate Zero, it's not just, oh, I've watched it 8 years ago and I kind of remember what happens, whatever. No, you need to know the details. This movie expects you to remember all the details, everything. Third point, what you should know going in, watch Kara no Kyokai, Garden of Sinners. It's a series of 7 movies that was released, like more than 10 years ago. It's also made by UFO Table. You'll get a little bit extra out of Heavensfield if you've seen those movies. But these movies are hard to recommend. They are difficult to watch. They are slow and deep, and a lot of talking and philosophical pondering and all of that jazz. So unless you are already a huge nerd out Type Moon fan, I'd say skip this. I would love to be able to recommend this series to more people, but it just isn't for most people. Anyway, so those are the things that you should know going into Heavensfield, if you haven't seen any of the movies. If you've already seen movies 1 and 2, and you might as well just watch the third one. You are going to miss out on a lot of stuff. If you haven't met the prerequisites that I've already mentioned. But heck, if you've already seen 2 of them, just finish watching it. You might as well. And here's the obligatory section where I go spoiler warning, because now I'm gonna actually review the movie a little bit and talk about things that I like and didn't like. So here we go. You've had plenty of time to click off this video. Now if you're staying, you're ready for the spoilers. So, movies 1 and 2. Assuming you've seen Unlimited Blade Works, they're pretty nicely paced. They give you a lot of time to get to know the characters that weren't explored as much in Unlimited Blade Works. Namely Sakura, Shinji, and Zouken, which is the buggy old grandpa. Basically the whole Mato household. They weren't explored as much in any of the other routes, but they are the focus here. If you don't like bugs, you're gonna see a lot of bugs in these movies. There are a lot of very highly detailed rendered bugs. Secondly, the whole Angra Mainu or Audaman or Avenger thing, I would assume is totally incomprehensible to people that have not played the visual novel or have not read the wikis. They do make a really solid effort in explaining the tainting of the Grail and the origin of the Avenger and all of that, but for anime and movie only watchers, it seems like something that just comes out of left field, and they're introducing a new world concept in the Fate world just to explain the mysteries that they introduced in movies 1 and 2. Me being someone that knows about the whole tainting of the Grail, that has read the wiki, that heck has Avenger in my Fate Grand Order game, it's still confusing to me, the entire concept. So I can't imagine anyone receiving this 5-minute explanation in a movie would understand it. Now, next point, the inception of the whole Holy Grail system. This is for me. This is it's really, really nice seeing the whole thing fully animated, right? The whole Mato, the Tosaka, and the Eisenburn household coming together, coming up with the inception of the entire system. It's great, and seeing Zelrich perfectly like animated with full budget is amazing. But once again, for people that only watch the anime or the movies, I don't see how they would care about the lineage of these 3 houses. It lacks the impact, the importance that it would have for gigantic nerd out fans. Now we're getting into third movies, right? So at some point, swords starts coming out of Shiro's body. he slowly becomes a Shiro porcupine, and now this is because his origin is swords. If you've seen Unlimited Blade Works, spoilers for that show here, you'll know that that is Archer's noble phantasm, and that is the only magic allowed to him. That is the only magic he knows is swords. And obviously that retains to Shiro too, because they're the same person. Now, the whole concept of someone's origin and how everything they do is influenced by it, that is only fully explored once again in Kara no Kyokai, Burden of Sinners. So good luck to people that haven't seen it. I guess it would be another idea just out of left field for people that haven't seen those movies, right? It's like, where did this come from? Okay, I guess that's just what it is. Nobody else in the Fate Heaven's Feel movies do anything with this origin concept. Shiro is the only person that does. Now, the ending, this is probably my biggest quote-unquote rant, is the ending of the third movie. I had to go back 3 times during the closing of the gate, when Ilya closes the gate, and the epilogue to understand what happened. So if you watch this in the theaters, I don't know how you would have... anyways. So before Ilya closes the gate, she is clearly asking Shiro if he wants to live, quote unquote, with consequences. And of course he cries out yes. And there's a scene where you see her holding a ball of light in her hands, and then the ball of light kind of floats up and dissipates. Now, that is supposed to be Shiro's soul that she just extracted right after he agreed that he wants to live. And then she runs towards the light to close the gate, and you can see a silhouette of what I assume to be Irisville, her mom. This was a very, very touching moment. When I saw this, I audibly went, "Aw," because Ilyasville, practically grew up without a mom and resenting her dad. She bad childhood. Reference back to Zero once again. If you haven't seen Fate Zero, you wouldn't know what's going on. Then after that, presumably, Shiro dies, right? And we see the epilogue of Rin and Sakura making up for their lost time. They're hanging out, they're walking, they're shopping. And then eventually, 2 years pass and we see them go into an alley. And they pass by a girl in a big coat with red hair. For like a split second, half a second of a scene. That girl is Toko from Kara no Kyokai. And if you've seen Kara no Kyokai, you know that Toko is a master puppeteer. And I don't mean as in she controls puppets, but she makes puppets. She is probably the best puppet maker in the entire world. And without giving too much away, the puppets that she makes at the highest level is so good that she herself can't tell the difference between the puppet and the real thing. And for people like me, as soon as you see Toko, before you even see the later scenes, as soon as you see Toko, you know exactly what is going to happen, right? Next scene is they go into what looks like a store. Once again, this is Toko's store. She has a store where she sells antiques and knickknacks and stuff like that. And they open a little cabinet and they see a featureless white puppet. So you can kind of connect dots here. Even if you don't know what's going on, you can kind of connect the dots here. And then the scene flashes to Sakura holding a cage, a covered cage. And you see a ball of light kind of swimming around in the cage. And they look kind of slightly happy after finding the puppet. Now, I had to rewind this because I had to make sure that I wasn't just imagining this whole thing. I wasn't imagining like, oh, she just found the neat little cage in the shop. No, they walk down the street and into the alley, and Sakura was already carrying the cage. They brought it with them. That's clearly Shiro's soul. So anyways, that scene's over, and then you flash back to their the Emiya's home, and Sakura's just cooking with Shiro, and they're smiling at each other. Good luck understanding all of that if you've never seen Kara no Kyokai. I guess you could make a really, really big leap and go like, oh, puppet. Oh, yeah, they said his body's gone, so that's a puppet. Yeah, but the biggest question is the whole extraction of the soul and then bringing the soul to the shop. That is so easily missable. You could have easily thought that that's a fake Shiro without his actual, soul and essence in it. When I watched it for a solid minute or two, I was thinking, wait, is that just a fake person? Like, did they just make a fake Shiro and just pretended that he's fine? But no, that is actually Shiro. He lives in a puppet now, but that is actually him. Anyway, that's a really long rant about all the different things. But I think you'll see that there is a through line through all of my complaints, right? The through line is really, honestly, it's just, I love this movie. It's made for me, right? It's made for me and the 5 other hardcore Fate fans out there. No, there's a lot of them. There's like at least thousands of hardcore Fate fans out there. This movie's made for me, and the amount of budget, the amount of amazing animation and 3D scenes and 3D effects they put into this is absolutely amazing. I am so glad that so much money was put into this so that I can enjoy it. The little salt that I have coming into this is that I can't really recommend this to anybody unless they're already a gigantic Fate fan. And if they're a huge Fate fan, I don't need to recommend this to you. You would have gone out of your way to see this already. So that's the only reason I'm salty about this, is I love this so much, but I can't in all honesty recommend this to you, right? I can, however, if you are not familiar with the Fate franchise at all, and you somehow is watching this video, right? I can recommend that you go watch Unlimited Blade Works. That is a fresh, you have no idea what you're doing. You can watch the show. They explain a lot of the concepts of the entire universe, the franchise to you, and you'll get a really, really good show out of it. You'll love it, right? Or you can go watch Fate Zero, which is another anime series. Fate Zero is chronologically the prequel to Unlimited Blade Works. There's going to be a lot, I mean a lot of arguments about which one you should watch first. But honestly, Unlimited Blade Works or Zero, watch either one first, and if you liked it, watch the other. It's fine. It's fine. It doesn't matter. And if you watched them and you really solidly enjoyed them, then give these three movies a go. Heaven's Feel is an alternative retelling of the Unlimited Blade Works timeline. It's a different route in the visual novel, basically. Anyway, to close this off, I just want to reiterate once again, the sound designs, the animation design, the fight scenes are absolutely amazing. They are the top tier stuff that I think everyone should see. If you decide to skip these movies and you can somehow get your hands on just the fight scenes, I don't care about your fandom. You should watch these. These are amazing. These are like, I can't praise them enough. Is how good these are. It would have been perfectly fine. Actually, a quick little segue, alright? Quick little segue. During the Berserker fight, specifically Berserker versus Saber, I have never seen a Berserker in any anime series. A Berserker portrayed so berserk-like. He berserked the crap out of every berserk that ever berserked. This is the berserkiest I have ever seen. That's so good. And before I end, I almost forgot to praise the amazing BGM, the sound. The music is top tier as it always has been for Fate franchises. I foresee myself listening to the OST for this, like I did for Fate Zero and Unlimited Blade Works for years. It's great. I almost forgot this before I closed off the video. That's good. That's good. That's good. I got that in there. Last thing I want to say is these movies are great. I would have been perfectly fine if they decided to adapt this into another 24 episode series, but I think that's just my fanboy talking, and not a lot of other people want that. That being said, I just want to point out to people at Type Moon and UFO Table, the Fate route, where Saber is the main focus, hasn't technically been properly animated. The 2006 Fate is a mixture of all the routes. That wasn't technically a Fate route. So can we please get something? Can I get a little something, please? Yeah, anyways. Hey, Tsukihime remake coming out.